Your environment is extremely important. Your environment is your home, your family, who you're around every single day. That's going to impact your mindset. Obviously, we all can relate to that. Most of us have at one point lived at home, lived with family, lived with others. I've had roommates. I've had all kinds of different living situations throughout moving out and, my years. So I understand how important environment is. And the one thing that moving out does for you is it really teaches you responsibility, a higher level of responsibility, and you being in a position. I always talk about this right here, this picture behind me, right? The black is pressure. The red says pressure is a privilege. You want pressure in your life. If you're comfortable right now, manufacture it. Create pressure. Put yourself out there and realize what it means to pay bills. I remember I moved out when I was 17 years old, right? Lived on my own ever since 17. One of the best decisions I ever made. And my family was here, by the way. My family was with me. They wanted me to stay home. They, of course, like most parents, right? I made a conscious choice, pushing past all kinds of resistance to move out, right? But I moved out at 17 years old, and I remember some of the basic necessities, like toilet paper, like groceries, like toothpaste. A couple days into moving into my new place, I was like, oh, I just realized I have to go buy this stuff now. I don't have it here. I forgot that this stuff was always just there. I never had to think about going and getting it or buying it. Now I have to do my own groceries. Now I have to pay my own bills. What the hell is hydro or electricity? What does that even mean? Do I have to set up a hydro account? Do I have to call this place and give them my card? Like, how do I pay hydro? How do I pay an internet bill? Like, how do I get somebody to come here and install internet for me? Like, learning the most basic things, right, at 17 years old allowed me to realize, okay, first of all, I need to be earning and working and making this much money to pay my bills and expenses because it's all on me now. There's no going back. Secondly, allowing you to take a higher level of responsibility for your life in general. And that translates into every single thing you do. I had somebody, funny enough, actually, he was a front desk. He was part-time front desk, very shy, very quiet guy, really good guy, very nice. He reached out to me just recently and said, hey, I just found your page after like 7-8 years. I can't believe what you're doing now. Told me a lot of nice things. He's like, he told me some things I used to tell him back in the day when I was working with him at the front desk before I was doing sales. And he told me, he's like, you told me you're going to do this and that. And now so many years later, I just found your page and you're doing everything you said you would do. And he's like, I'm just so inspired by finding your page. And now he's going to be working on the programs. I got on a call with him and catching up after like 8 years with this guy. He said, one of the things I remember about you when we were so young and working together so many years ago is you lived on your own. He's like, that always stuck with me. How is a kid so young, living on his own, paying his own bills? And he actually told me, he's like, I went home and I told my mom, he's Korean, he has a Korean mom, more conservative, more family oriented. So he said, I went home and I told my mom, it's crazy, this guy's with us. He's like a motivational guy and he lives on his own. And he said his mom told him, you should learn from that. So that's something that stuck out to him, right? That's how pivotal that was for him. And you can imagine how important and pivotal that was for me actually living that. Now, that being said, let me tell you the downsides as well. It's not easy. It will be hard. It will be extremely lonely. Extremely. I mean, I moved out at 17. And a lot of times I'm just sitting around looking around and just thinking like it's lonely, right? It can be extremely emotionally hard. There are all kinds of downsides to it as well, but the upsides far outweigh the downsides. And sooner or later, you're going to have to make that move. And like anything else, it's better sooner than later.